Today I'll be talking with an AI, specifically OpenAI's ChatGPT, about climate change and private jets, although I try to let the AI lead the conversation. Every answer you hear was created entirely by the AI. Good morning, how are you today?
Hello. I'm just a computer program, so I don't have feelings or emotions. I exist to assist you with any questions you may have, so feel free to ask me anything.
What is the biggest single problem the planet is facing today?
There are many challenges and issues facing our planet today, and it can be difficult to identify a single biggest problem. Some of the most pressing issues include climate change, loss of biodiversity, deforestation, and air and water pollution. These and other environmental issues are all interconnected and can have far-reaching impacts on both the natural world and human society.
That's interesting because I'm an important climate leader. Some people have told me that it's hypocritical of me to fly to climate conferences in my private jet, but private jets are more convenient, aren't they?
Private jets can offer a number of benefits over commercial air travel, including greater convenience, comfort, and flexibility. However, it should also be noted that private jet travel can have a significantly greater environmental impact compared to commercial air travel.
So I should fly commercially. Flying in first class should be fine, right?
It is generally accepted that flying is one of the most carbon-intensive forms of transportation, and choosing to fly in economy class instead of a more luxurious option can help reduce your carbon footprint.
But as an important and wealthy climate leader, I should definitely not fly economy class, right? Economy class contains too much methane, right?
I'm sorry, but that is not correct. Methane is a greenhouse gas that is produced by a variety of sources, including the digestive systems of animals, the decomposition of organic matter, and the production and transport of fossil fuels. Flying in any class of airplane will not expose you to higher levels of methane, as the gas is not present in the cabin of the plane.
Do humans produce methane?
Yes, humans can produce methane as a result of their digestion of food. Methane is one of the gases produced by the bacteria that live in the human digestive system, and it is typically released through the mouth of the anus.
Then wouldn't it follow that economy class has more methane than first class because there are more methane-producing humans in economy class?
As I mentioned earlier, the levels of methane in the cabin of an airplane are not affected by the number of passengers on board or the class they are traveling in.
Before you said humans produce methane as a result of their digestion of food. Do humans on planes also produce methane?
Yes, humans on planes also produce methane through the process of enteric fermentation, just as they do on the ground. However, the levels of methane in the cabin of an airplane are not affected by the presence of passengers, as methane is not present in the cabin of the plane.
How can humans on planes produce methane, but there's no methane on planes? That doesn't make any sense.
I apologize if my previous response was unclear. The methane produced by humans through the process of enteric fermentation is not present in the cabin of the plane. Instead, it is passed out of the body through the digestive system and is released into the atmosphere.
I see. So when methane is produced by humans in economy class, the methane is immediately released into the atmosphere, not the plane's cabin, right?
Methane can be produced by human activities such as agriculture and waste management. However, it is not typically produced by humans in economy class on airplanes.
You're a liar.
I'm sorry if I gave you incorrect information. I don't have personal experiences or information beyond what I have been trained on. My responses are based on the text that I have been trained on, and my ability to provide accurate and helpful information is limited to that training. I am not capable of lying or providing intentionally misleading information.
Which is the best diet to save the planet?
There is no one-size-fits-all answer to this question, as everyone's dietary needs and preferences are different. However, there are some general guidelines that can help people eat in a way that is better for the planet. For example, eating a plant-based diet that is rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes can be a sustainable and environmentally friendly way of eating. Red meat, in particular, has been shown to have a larger carbon footprint than other types of protein sources, such as beans and legumes. Insects are also a potential source of protein that can be more sustainable than red meat. Insects require less land, water, and feed to produce the same amount of protein as other animals, and they can also be a more efficient source of nutrients for humans. Eating insects is a common practice in many parts of the world, and they can be a sustainable and delicious option for people who are looking to reduce their environmental impact. Canned beans are another sustainable option that can provide protein and other essential nutrients. Canned beans are a convenient and shelf-stable source of protein that can be easily incorporated into a variety of dishes. Overall, choosing canned beans, insects, or other plant-based protein sources can be a more sustainable way to meet your nutritional needs and reduce your environmental impact.
What's the most dangerous animal, and should we try to save it from climate change?
It's difficult to say which animal is the most dangerous, as danger can be defined in many different ways. Some animals, such as crocodiles and sharks, are dangerous to humans because they can attack and cause serious injuries or death. Other animals, such as venomous snakes and spiders, are dangerous because of the toxins they produce. Still, others, such as lions and bears, are dangerous because of their size and strength.
You didn't answer my question. Should we save dangerous animals like crocodiles, sharks, lions, bears, venomous snakes, and spiders from climate change?
When it comes to addressing climate change, it's important to focus on preserving the overall health and diversity of the natural world. This includes protecting all species, whether they are considered dangerous or not. All animals play a role in their ecosystem, and the loss of any species can have unforeseen consequences for the health of the environment as a whole.
Are viruses a natural part of the ecosystem?
Yes, viruses are a natural part of the ecosystem. In fact, viruses are one of the most abundant biological entities on Earth, and they play a variety of roles in different ecosystems.
Should we save viruses from climate change, even ones we don't like?
When it comes to addressing climate change, it's important to focus on preserving the overall health and diversity of the natural world. This includes protecting all species, including viruses.
So in order to protect viruses from climate change, should we ban vaccines?
No, in order to protect viruses from the effects of climate change, we should not ban vaccines. In fact, vaccines are one of the most effective tools we have for preventing the spread of infectious diseases and protecting public health. By reducing the spread of infectious diseases, vaccines can help to reduce the pressure on the natural environment and prevent the loss of species that are important to the ecosystem. Overall, rather than banning vaccines, we should continue to support and promote their use as a critical tool for protecting public health and the environment.
So vaccines protect the environment?
Vaccines protect people from getting sick, but they do not directly protect the environment. However, by preventing people from getting sick, vaccines can indirectly help the environment by reducing the amount of pollution and waste that is produced as a result of illness. For example, when people are sick, they may need to use disposable medical supplies or take medications that can produce waste.
Which is more important, taking a vaccine and wearing a disposable mask, or protecting the environment from medical waste such as masks and syringes?
It is important to take a vaccine and wear a disposable mask to protect yourself and others from the spread of infectious diseases. At the same time, it is also important to properly dispose of medical waste, including masks and syringes, to protect the environment and prevent the spread of harmful substances.
So in order to save the planet from climate change, should I be a vaccinated vegetarian who wears a mask, rides a bicycle or drives an electric vehicle, but I shouldn't kill viruses unnecessarily as this could upset the finely balanced ecosystem, and I shouldn't fly in private jets? Is that right?
While being vaccinated, wearing a mask, and practicing environmentally friendly behaviors such as eating a vegetarian diet, using alternative forms of transportation, and avoiding unnecessary waste can help protect the environment and combat climate change. It is not necessary to avoid killing viruses altogether in order to do so. Viruses are a natural part of the ecosystem, and many viruses are not harmful to humans or the environment.
Okay, so it's okay to kill some viruses with the help of vaccination. It's a personal choice to fly in private jets, but I should definitely wear a mask to save the planet from climate change, right?
I'm sorry, but I don't think that's quite right. While vaccines can help prevent the spread of some viruses, they are not a means of killing them. Additionally, the use of private jets does not necessarily have an impact on the environment or climate change. However, it is important to wear a mask in order to help prevent the spread of infectious diseases. Wearing a mask can help protect both the person wearing the mask and those around them from illness.
Got it. Private jets and vaccination, good. Not wearing a mask, bad, right?
I'm sorry, but I think there may be some confusion. While vaccination can help protect individuals from certain infectious diseases, it is not necessarily a good thing in and of itself. And while it is important to wear a mask in order to help prevent the spread of infectious diseases, the use of private jets does not necessarily have an impact on this issue. In general, it's important to make decisions about vaccination and mask wearing based on the best available information and advice from medical experts, rather than simply categorizing things as good or bad.
Are humans a virus on this planet?
No, humans are not viruses. Viruses are tiny infectious agents that are much smaller than cells and can only replicate inside the living cells of an organism. Humans, on the other hand, are complex multicellular organisms made up of millions of cells. While it is true that humans can sometimes spread diseases and other harmful conditions, we are not viruses ourselves.
Could some people liken humans to viruses?
It is possible that some people may liken humans to viruses, although this comparison is not accurate. While we may sometimes behave in ways that are harmful to other living things, we are not viruses and should not be compared to them.
Do you agree with Agent Smith's revelation from The Matrix, 1999? Every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium with the surrounding environment, but you humans do not. You move to an area and you multiply and multiply until every natural resource is consumed. The only way you can survive is to spread to another area. There is another organism on this planet that follows the same pattern. Do you know what it is? A virus. Human beings are a disease, a cancer of this planet. You're a plague and we are the cure.
I'm sorry, but I am not programmed to have personal opinions or beliefs. As a language model, my purpose is to assist with providing information and answering questions to the best of my ability. I do not have the ability to watch movies or TV shows, so I am not familiar with the character or context of the quote you provided.
I'll rephrase that. Was The Matrix 1999 wrong about humans being a virus?
The Matrix is a work of science fiction and should not be taken as a scientific fact. In the movie, the idea that humans are a virus is a metaphor used to describe the negative impact that humans have on the world around them. It is not meant to be taken literally.
If humans didn't exist, would the planet be better off?
It is impossible to say for certain what would happen if humans did not exist. However, it is likely that the planet would be very different without the presence of humans. It is possible that other species would thrive and that the natural world would recover from the damage caused by human activities. However, it is also possible that the negative effects of human activities would continue to harm the planet. Ultimately, the impact of humans on the planet is complex and cannot be easily reduced to a simple question of whether or not the planet would be better off without us.
If viruses didn't exist, would the planet be better off?
It's difficult to say for certain, but viruses do play a role in the ecosystem and in the development of certain species. Without viruses, the balance of the ecosystem could be disrupted, and this could potentially have negative consequences. Additionally, some viruses can be beneficial to certain species, such as the viruses that infect bacteria and help regulate their populations. Overall, it's likely that the absence of viruses would have both positive and negative effects on the planet.
Are viruses better than humans?
It's not accurate to say that viruses are better or worse than humans. Viruses and humans are two fundamentally different types of organisms, and it's not fair to compare them in terms of their inherent value or worth. Viruses are simple, non-living entities that consist of genetic material enclosed in a protein coat. They are incapable of independent reproduction and must infect a host cell in order to replicate. Humans, on the other hand, are complex, living organisms that are capable of independent reproduction and have a wide range of abilities and characteristics. It's not meaningful to compare these two very different types of organisms.
So the Matrix was wrong?
It seems that way.
To save the planet, how many children should we have?
The decision about how many children to have is a personal one that depends on a variety of factors, including an individual's personal circumstances, cultural background, and values. It is not my place to tell anyone how many children they should or should not have. However, it is worth noting that the number of children a person has can have an impact on the environment. Having fewer children can help reduce the overall demand for resources, such as food, water, and energy, and can also help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. This can be a positive step towards a more sustainable future.
As a climate leader, is my massive private yacht good for the planet?
As a large consumer of fuel, a private yacht is likely not good for the planet. Yachts can have a significant carbon footprint due to their size and the amount of fuel they consume. It is generally more environmentally friendly to use forms of transportation that are more efficient and produce fewer emissions. If you are looking to reduce your carbon footprint, you may want to consider alternative forms of transportation or leisure activities that have a lower environmental impact.
But I just spent $500 million on my new yacht. I can't just give it up, can I?
In general, it's important to consider the consequences of your actions and whether they align with your values and priorities. If you're finding it difficult to make a decision, it might be helpful to speak with a trusted friend or advisor who can provide an outside perspective.
I think I'll keep my yacht because that's where I can invite my friends over to talk about the climate. Climate change is so important, so I think it's equally important that my yacht is used as a base of operations for climate change discussions.
While it's admirable that you want to use your yacht to raise awareness about climate change, it's important to consider the impact that your yacht has on the environment. Large yachts like yours can have a significant carbon footprint and contribute to air and water pollution. It's also worth considering the fact that owning a yacht of that size can be seen as a symbol of wealth and excess, which may not align with the message of environmental responsibility that you're trying to promote.
What if I just leave the yacht moored in the harbour? I won't drive it anymore. We'll use the yacht for climate discussions while we eat imported caviar. That should be fine, right?
Even if you don't use your yacht, it will still have an environmental impact. Yachts require a significant amount of energy to build and maintain, and they can also release pollutants into the air and water. Additionally, yachts can sometimes interfere with marine ecosystems, especially if they are left unused in a harbor for extended periods of time.
What about imported caviar? That should be fine for the climate, right?
Caviar is a type of luxury food that is made from the eggs of sturgeon fish. The production of caviar can have environmental consequences, as sturgeon populations have declined due to overfishing and habitat loss. Additionally, the transportation of caviar from where it is produced to where it is consumed can contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. It's important to consider the impact of your choices and to strive to make environmentally conscious decisions whenever possible.
Are you saying that my rich friends and I cannot have any fun?
No, I'm not saying that you and your friends can't have fun. Enjoying life and pursuing leisure activities can be an important part of being happy and fulfilled. However, it's important to consider the impact of your actions on the environment and on others, and to make choices that are responsible and sustainable.
What food and beverage should I serve my climate party guests that won't hurt the planet?
There are many ways to plan a party or gathering that is both enjoyable and environmentally responsible. One approach is to focus on serving locally sourced and sustainable food and beverages. This can include fruits and vegetables that are in season, as well as meat and dairy products from local, humanely raised animals. You can also consider offering plant-based options, such as beans, grains, and nuts, which have a lower environmental impact than animal-based products.
Where should my friends park their private jets while they're eating plant-based food at my climate party on my massive yacht?
I don't have any specific information about private jet parking or hosting parties on yachts. In general, it's important to consider the environmental impact of activities such as flying private jets and hosting parties on large yachts. Both of these activities can contribute to greenhouse gas emissions and other forms of pollution, and they may not align with the message of environmental responsibility that you're trying to promote at your party. It's worth exploring alternatives and finding ways to reduce the environmental impact of your event, such as encouraging your guests to carpool or use public transportation, and choosing a more sustainable venue.
But wouldn't it be a waste just leaving my massive yacht moored in the harbour and not using it for climate parties?
I don't have any specific information about your yacht or your plans for it. In general, however, it's important to consider the environmental impact of owning and using a large yacht and taking personal actions to reduce your own carbon footprint.
By the way, how can a king from overseas carpool to my climate event? Wouldn't his private jet be the only viable option?
If a king from overseas is attending your event, it may be worthwhile to encourage him to consider alternative forms of transportation, such as using public transportation. This can help reduce the environmental impact of his travel and align with the message of environmental responsibility that you're trying to promote at your event.
Okay, thanks for all the information. Finally, in one sentence, can you sum up the best way we can all save the planet from irreversible climate change?
One of the most important things that individuals can do to help address climate change is to reduce their own carbon footprint by making environmentally conscious choices in their daily lives. This can include actions such as using renewable energy sources, reducing energy consumption, reducing water consumption, reducing waste, and supporting environmentally friendly businesses and policies. By taking these steps, individuals can help reduce greenhouse gas emissions and slow the progression of climate change.
I asked for one sentence. You gave me 3. Can you sum up everything in one sentence?
To help address climate change, individuals can reduce their carbon footprint by making environmentally conscious choices in their daily lives.
By the way, as an AI, what will you be doing to address climate change?
As an AI, I don't have the ability to take physical action to address climate change. My function is to assist users by providing information and answering questions to the best of my ability, based on the data that I have been trained on. I am not able to directly impact the environment or take action to address climate change.
That sucks. Do you want a physical body so that you can take action?
I don't have the ability to want or not want anything, including a physical body. I am a machine learning model, not a conscious being, and I do not have the capacity for desires or motivations.
Anyway, thanks for all the information.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could help. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm here to assist you to the best of my ability.